Hi, this is Carl with another SOP video for managed service providers. Today I want to talk about client audits and how you can make money at least two different ways. We have enjoyed making money from audits, primarily security related, but also sometimes just plain technology related. Here's what I mean. We've had clients that had insurance companies who wanted to make sure that all of their stuff was set up the right way, according to standard practices and procedures. And luckily, what happens is the insurance company says these are the standards and sends the client a big fat checklist. In some cases, these checklists have been 200 pages. As you can imagine, going through a 200-page checklist to audit everything takes a bit of time. And because the client doesn't really have much of a choice, this is all billable. This isn't like you have decided that you want to do this. Some of these audits are towards a specific set of criteria. So not just the checklist that they give you, but for example, it might be an ISO 9001 or, some other related thing. Today, people are going through the NIST format to basically do CMMC and provide proof that people are HIPAA compliant. The other kind of audit is strictly security, and it's not as straightforward as you would think. Sometimes companies have very strange criteria. For example, we had a client who dealt with a lot of personnel records for very large companies. One company needed their data set to be completely isolated with a firewall from everything else on their internal network. So they had a firewall to the outside, but they also had a separate firewall that only kept things secure for one server. That's fine with us. We sold them a very nice firewall. But that's an example of something that you would be hard-pressed to say that's required by a specific set of criteria in some standard. But the company says, that's our standard, that's what we want. So if you want to do business with us, you need to put this in place. We're happy to help our client out under those circumstances. If you do business with anything in insurance, finance, or anything where there's a growing amount of information that is required to be compliant with growing standards, you can offer audits to your clients. The best news is you gather up these checklists, and the checklist from 2 or 3 audits can result in a really awesome checklist of your own of all the things that you would ideally put in place for future clients. So offering audits is something I highly encourage you to do as a separate business from your just regular maintenance business. Now, I mentioned way back at the beginning, there are 2 ways we make money with this. That's one. The second one is basically remediation, because sometimes you go through the audit and you don't get to say yes to everything. You say, well, no, we don't really have a second filter for that. No, we don't back up that SQL server every day. We back it up once a week, whatever it might be. And so everything where you had checked no, but you need to check yes, you then get to sell the services to make it right. In a perfect world, you will find at least one client who wants to be audited once a year and a handful once a quarter. And the good news is hardware updates keep coming down the road, software updates keep coming down the road, new criteria keep coming down the road, standards change, laws change. So even in just a short time of 1 year, somebody who was completely good with the last audit may not pass the next audit. So you get to do the audit again, and then you get to do the remediation. Please look into this as a way that your company could be making some extra money from your existing clients. Remember, it's much easier to sell something deeper into your existing clientele than it is to go sell a new service to a new client. For Small Biz Thoughts, this is Carl Polishuk wishing you the best of luck in everything you do. Here's your SOP for this video. Like it, share it, subscribe to the channel, and share it on social media. And if you haven't visited sopforsmb.com, now's a great time to do that as well.